Welcome to Tales of Honor, a podcast with a mission to tell the true stories of every recipient of our nation's highest military award, the Medal of Honor. Hello, everyone, and welcome to today's episode of Tales of Honor podcast. This is episode number 535. I'm going to continue on with my rant from last episode about the task of finding information on these recipients can sometimes be a royal task to do. Today's recipient is actually the last of the most recent recipients. A spoiler alert, and if you've already clicked on this, you already know it's Edward Kaneshiro. And to give you an idea of the frustration of finding information on these guys, Birthdays is especially on older recipients from going further back, can be a daunting task, and you would think the Vietnam War wouldn't be such a pain. However, I'm here to tell you that it still can be. According to the Congressional Medal of Honor Society, his birthday is only listed as 1928, and then I found a numerous amount of sources that cited July 19th, 1928, to include his own headstone at the Punch Bowl Cemetery in Hawaii, listing 19 July 1928. However, through a little bit more digging, I found some other information that listed it as the 22nd of July, to including the original Distinguished Service Cross citation. And when his wife died back in April of this year, she joined her husband at the cemetery, spoiler alert, and they updated the headstone to now include her name, and the birthday on that headstone has since been changed to the 22nd of July, 1928. So, I'm going with the 22nd of July, 1928, based on this information of his most recent headstone now has that, and the other record I found was from the United States Social Security records that listed the 22nd. So it's frustrating, and that's probably about 25 minutes of my life that was dedicated to making sure his birthday was correct. So again, mini rant. I just want you to have to feel the anguish that I have to put myself through in order to bring you these episodes. That's all. It's a selfish thing. But anyway, I have nothing else to go over, so let's jump right on into today's Tale of Honor. Edward was born in Honolulu, Hawaii on the 22nd of July, 1928, and he grew up on his family's farm about 25 minutes north of Honolulu. He was the eighth child of 16 and graduated from Leilehua High School in 1946. 13 years later, Edward enlisted into the U.S. Army and was assigned to Company C, 1st Battalion, 27th Infantry Regiment, 25th Infantry Division, near where he grew up. His first deployment was a non-combat tour to Okinawa, Japan, and to South Korea, and he was then deployed in support of the Vietnam War in 1966. It was his actions there that would earn him the Distinguished Service Cross, now upgraded to the Medal of Honor. The citation reads, Staff Sergeant Edward N Kaneshiro distinguished himself by acts of gallantry and intrepidity above and beyond the call of duty while serving as an infantry squad leader with Troop C, 1st Squadron, 9th Cavalry, 1st Cavalry Division near Phu Hu 2, Kim Son Valley, Republic of Vietnam, on 1 December 1966. Not knowing that the village was heavily fortified with a fully bunkered and concealed trench system and garrisoned by North Vietnamese troops in vastly superior force, 2 squads of the platoon had deployed to its center, while Staff Sergeant Kaneshiro and his squad scouted the more open terrain to the east of the village. Sensing the opportunity to ambush the infantry squads, the entrenched enemy force erupted with machine gun and small arms fire against the 2 squads at the center of the village, killing the platoon leader and the point man, wounding 4 others, then successfully suppressing the surviving soldiers. Staff Sergeant Kaneshiro moved with his men to the sounds of the fire. Swiftly reading the situation, seeing that the fire from the trench had to be stopped if anyone was to survive, he first deployed his men to cover, then crawled forward to attack the enemy force alone. He began by throwing grenades from the parapet while flattened to the ground, successfully throwing the first grenade through the aperture of the bunker, eliminating the machine gunner who had opened the action. With 5 grenades remaining and his rifle to sustain his assault, Staff Sergeant Kaneshiro jumped into the trench to sweep its length, where it fronted the 2 pinned squads. Over the distance of about 35 meters, he worked the ditch alone, destroying 1 enemy group with rifle fire and 2 others with grenades. By the end of his sweep, the able-bodied survivors of the 2 squads were again standing and preparing to move the dead and wounded. Staff Sergeant Kaneshiro's actions enabled the orderly extrication and reorganization of the platoon, which ultimately led to a successful withdrawal from the village. Staff Sergeant Kaneshiro's conspicuous gallantry and uncommon heroism under fire were in keeping with the highest traditions of the military service and reflect great credit upon himself, his unit, and the United States Army. Edward's Distinguished Service Cross was issued to him on the 26th of October, 1967, though Edward would not live to physically receive it. He was killed in action 7 months earlier, on the 6th of March, 1967, at the age of 38. Edward's wife, Mitsuko, was left to raise their 5 children by herself, with their youngest child, John, being 4 months old. On the 27th of June, 2022, the White House announced that his Distinguished Service Cross would be upgraded to the Medal of Honor, and on the 5th of July, John, who also served in the Army, received his father's Medal of Honor from President Biden. 2 days later, Edward was inducted into the Pentagon's Hall of Heroes along with 3 other Vietnam recipients. Edward Noboru Kaneshiro is buried in the National Memorial Cemetery of the Pacific in Honolulu, Hawaii, Section W, Site 262. His wife joined him on the 10th of April, 2022, and his name appears on the National Vietnam Veterans Memorial in Washington, D.C., Panel 16E, Line 28. And that was a Tale of Honor. Thank you for listening to Tales of Honor, and if you enjoyed the show, please be sure to subscribe and tell your friends and family. Tales of Honor is written and produced by Christoph Ambrosch, and theme music is Loyalty and Duty by Floruz Music. If you have any questions, you can send an email to talesofhonorpodcast@gmail.com, and please be sure to visit talesofhonorpodcast.com for more episodes and information.